On the 4th of July, 1943, the Irish moved to King's Lynn for further training, and it was while it was there that the Irish Regiment of Canada mounted the Royal Guard at Sandringham. One of the company commanders described the event. The Royal Guard was all the padres. While we were holed up at Hillington Hall, we spent many hours at the home of various lords and ladies. At one of these teas, there was a lady in waiting to the Queen. She was Irish, the Padre was Irish, and struck up a conversation. During the course of the talk, it was suggested that it would be a grand idea if the Irish guarded the King and Queen, who were to holiday in Sandringham. Dave made sure it went to Warhouse, who thought it was the craziest idea they had heard of, to put a group of wild Canadians in charge of such a duty. But Dave persisted and won out. This was the first time in history that a Canadian regiment had ever guarded the King and Queen. If it hadn't been for Dave, it would never have happened. The colonel was dumbfounded when word came back to pick one major, 3 captains, and 100 men to be taken off everything for training. The Padre wrote about that day in his diary. Unfortunately, the day was dull with the odd shower. After the royal party arrived, the king was met by the officer of the guard and, along with the royal party, began inspecting the troops. I followed them with my camera, and although the shots will be poor, I will still have them.
May this fair land we love so well, in dignity and freedom dwell. The worlds may change and go awry, while there is still one voice to cry. There'll always be an England, while there's a country.
At the end of the inspection, the king spotted my collar, walked over to me and shook my hand. Paul grabbed the camera and kept on shooting. The king asked me where my church was in Toronto, how long I had been in the service, how I liked my job, and said he was pleased that I was preaching to his people that night. The Queen then came forward, gave me that $1 million smile, shook my hand and remarked how wonderful the troops were and how proud I must be of them. She asked me how long I had been in the service and remarked on how unusual it was for a chaplain to be with one unit for so long.
What does it mean to you? Surely you're proud, shout it aloud, Britain's awake. The Empire too, we can depend on you. Freedom remains, these are the chains nothing can break. There'll always be an England, and England shall be free. If England means as much to you as England means to me.
After a formal picture with the royal family, we walked with them to church. The day and the opportunities were beyond my imagination, and I never dreamed it would be my good fortune to meet the King and Queen, worship with them, and preach on their estate. It was a great day for the Irish.